They found the rest of the tree that was sticking through the ceiling. Thank you to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring today's video. Go to skylightcal.com/Jamerrill and use my code Jamerrill or scan the QR code for 10% off. Welcome back again today, friends. Can you believe it? I'm doing a video where I'm cooking food. Well, I'm kind of cooking food. We are going to be serving up some massive freezer meals in this large family meals of the week and whatever else we're doing here video. We are going to have all kinds of fun. A tree comes through the ceiling. I mean, there's a lot. So buckle up, Buttercup, right? But right now we're defrosting chili, and we're going to put that chili in the slow cooker. It's still partially frozen. This chili, the meat, everything in it has been pre-cooked. So really all I need to do is heat it through. And so I have 2 1-gallon bags, and you saw we were doing the cold water defrost method there. And now I'm going to put them in my big slow cooker here. And this will be dinner for my kids and I for this evening. Actually, lunch the following day. We get a couple lunches and dinners out of this. Now this is the chili that you and I made together in June or July when I had those big, must have been June, right? Got those big roaster ovens out, and we made 40, I'm trying to think here. No, it was 20 quarts. We did 20 quarts of chili, and we did 20 quarts of taco meat. And we just did so many great meals that have been so helpful during this summer and as things have progressed. And so I'm to the last of those meals in the freezer, and my goal for this week as I feed my family is to get through as many of those meals as possible. So here's part of what's left from the garden. These red ones I need to get down in my freezer. I actually have 2 buckets in my kitchen that I need to get out here too, but we're not doing that yet. Thank you to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring today's video. I want to introduce you all to my new friend, the Skylight Calendar, and how it is helping me in my busy mama life. Thank you to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring today's video. Skylight Calendar is a must-have for a smooth, organized school year. Go to skylightcal.com/Jamerrill and use my code Jamerrill or scan the QR code for 10% off. I have set up our Skylight Calendar in our kitchen. The Skylight Calendar is a fantastic touchscreen smart calendar, and it syncs with events from all existing calendars that your family uses. Google, Apple, Outlook, all of them. When you add an event on your existing calendar, it'll automatically appear on the Skylight Calendar at home. This is convenient for me because I also have the app on my phone, and I know anything I add is going to show up for the family even if I'm not there. You can also invite family members to access your calendar and manage everything through the mobile app, allowing everyone to stay up to date on the go. I love that I'm able to add custom to-do list and chores straight from the device, so even kids without a phone can participate too. The Skylight Calendar helps my family during this busy school year time by synchronizing all of our events and activities, our upcoming meetings, doctor's appointments, when friends are coming over, different homeschool group activities. It's all there in one place for all the family members to see at one time. Also, it's helping my kids build healthy habits, like staying on top of their chores, and they're also easily able to put that nice check mark beside each activity once it's completed. The Skylight Calendar really helps me with the full load of managing my big and noisy family. It gives me peace of mind organizing my busy household. And as a busy mom, I know you're juggling a lot too. Skylight Calendar can help you make sure that nothing gets missed. Thanks again to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring today's video. Skylight Calendar is a must-have for a smooth, organized school year. Go to skylightcal.com/Jamerrill and use my code Jamerrill or scan the QR code for 10% off. Be sure to click the first link in the description below or scan the QR code for 10% off. We're gonna go down in the basement. I'll show you tomatoes that I am keeping a hold of. We're gonna do winter projects with. Sigh. Speaking of projects, so I've had these onions out from the garden for weeks now. I guess I need to braid them and be a good homesteading woman, huh? Miscellaneous marker. Just, yep, there they are. We grew them. We did it. Here they are. And so coming on over here, I want to show ya what's in the freezer meal freezer. Hopes and dreams that I'm coming into a time where I can start doing my big super mega mama cooking days, big freezer cooking days, and we can work on filling this freezer full of freezer meals. I want to, before we do that, just take this week to clean out what is in here. So I do have 3 bags of the egg roll in a bowl. We did these in June. Basically, this is going to be one big pot of spaghetti sauce we'll do for a few days. I have 2 things of taco meat and then 2 cabbage lasagnas. So it's Monday now when we're kicking this video off. And I mean, even if it takes us, you know, through Sunday or next Monday, this video we're going to be using these freezer meals in some way every day. I have also 8 of these personal sourdough pizzas still here that we can use, and then I have 3 loaves of sourdough I did in July. This is future self, present self, past, present, future, present self thanking past self for getting this done, because my sourdough starter is back in my refrigerator, but maybe she can come on out. We haven't named her. We probably need to name her Lisa also, because I got my starter from my friend Lisa. Anyway, we can name it Hopes and Dreams. I don't know. Now I'm thinking of sourdough starter names. These are going to be a big part of the meals for this week, and Hopes and Dreams. Big cooking days are coming. We're going to fill this freezer up. Some cabbage lasagnas and also some chili meat. And then I'll show you where the tomatoes have been stored. And I noticed the other day I have Happy Helpers putting them on the shelves here now. So we need to move and start filling this other basket. But again, future Canon projects. It's like, in one way it's kind of sad, but another way, well, we know what the future holds. Remember those cherries I had that we had to just throw in the freezer? I was going to do jam with those. We had them all pitted. There those are. Yeah, there's my emergency Eggo waffles. Now, these gluten-free pizzas, my gluten-free folks have liked these from Costco. So that's good. We also have a birthday situation happening and emergency mom meals. So there you go. But I'm excited to go through these meals this week and move on to new things. And here's how chili worked out for dinner on this night. Nice big slow cooker full. And again, we made this together earlier in the summer, and it's blessing us now, late in September. And so I just filled up several bowls. Some kids had it with sour cream and cheese. Also, we had some with crackers. I had Ezekiel muffin, but boy, this is not an Ezekiel bread muffin. Next day, happy birthday. We had a birthday. We actually had celebrated it a few days before, but here on the actual day, Mama ran to Krispy Kreme early in the morning just to get 4 dozen donuts to make it extra special, and this was our fun birthday extravaganza that morning. And now here we are again, lunchtime, and you can see, wow, we are really eating down that chili, but I'm going to get some more out and heat it up because my family loves it and they like it. And the refrigerator needs cleaned out. And there we go. There's some fresh fruits. And now it's another day. And on this day, I am going to cook up egg roll in a bowl. We are going to actually have it for lunch on this day, and then it'll also be dinner that night. And I pulled my sourdough starter out of the refrigerator. It's got some hooch on it, which is totally normal. That just means it's hungry. It's saying, I'm hungry, feed me. And so you can just pour that hooch off of it. I actually had pulled it out a week or 2 before, and I was feeding it. I had a really good week of feeding it, and I thought, this is it, this is it. Sourdough September, we're getting to it. And yeah, things did not go as planned, and I just took my little towel, took my sourdough starter, put it in the refrigerator and said, okay, false alarm. And I put it back. And so I'm going now to get another jar from my cabinet over there, and we are going to fill that jar with our discard and feed this sourdough starter again. So I'm going to get this jar, and we're going to pour off a lot of the sourdough starter, and we will save that for hopefully, maybe, I don't know, you tell me, in the future that we'll be able to make a bunch of sourdough discard bagels like that time we made 72 just for grins, and then they were gone within 48 hours. They were that good. So we're going to pour off this discard, and then I'm going to feed what sourdough starter I leave in here. And really, you only need like, you know, a tablespoon, right, to get it going again. But I'm going to feed mine 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water. I'm just wiping off the rim there. We don't want to give any chance for mold to grow. I also switch my sourdough starter out into a fresh container that we can wash, and there you go. That's the hooch that we poured off. And so I'll put a lid on that sourdough starter, and again, it can sit there in the fridge and wait for me to get to those projects. My starter is very happy. It's great if you can get a starter from a friend who has been doing wonderful things with it for years. You know, I got my starter from my friend Lisa on Farmhouse on Boone, and she gave me, it was like a tablespoon worth. And so I just want to keep this sourdough starter going forever because Lisa has kept it for a good 13 years or so now. And even what's left in the container there is sad. It's like, oh, we should use a little bit. We should save every little bit. But that's good. And here we are. I am just scraping out all that I can. Every little bit that I can get a hold of there to keep our sourdough starter going. And when I have it going, I like to switch the container out, usually weekly. And so this was a fresh start with our hopes and dreams on a fresh week, although it's not Monday at this point. We're several days deep, but we can say it's Monday. So I'm going to get my other sourdough container soaking, and I'm going to feed my sourdough starter with the 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water and go from there. Now it is all nice and fed, and I just put a kitchen towel over it, and now we are going to work on getting our egg roll in a bowl cooked up. But first off, I have 2 little fellas here who wanted some homemade lemonade, and so they squirted the lemon juice into their cups, and they are putting some of the Truvia packs in there and stirring it up with a wooden spoon, and then they add ice cubes, and then they take their big super mega cups of outside of lemonade for their fun playtime outside. And so now we are going to cook this egg roll in a bowl, and I get some oil in my pans, and these bags are still frozen. If you remember, we also prepped these earlier in the summer. We cooked up a whole bunch. Tell me how many, 20 pounds, 40 pounds, I don't know. We did a bunch of grass-fed big batch ground beef cooking that we put in many of these meals as we're using them up now. And then we also chopped up the lettuce. I had some sesame seed, not lettuce, sheesh, cabbage. We also put some carrots, shredded carrots in there, and I put some sesame seed oil and some ginger and some garlic. And so now we are just going to cook these up how they are, and it cooks up wonderful. And I use all three of the 1 gallon bags of the egg roll in a bowl because we even like it heated up, and it was going to be fresh egg roll in the bowl today, only I didn't have to cook up 5 to 7 pounds of ground beef, and I didn't have to chop the cabbage and the carrots or do any other prep work at all. I did have to chop with my spatula there a little bit, but that had already been setting out and defrosting, and now it was time to just cook it up in those big 17-inch Lodge cast iron pans that I got over a year ago, and I've been loving them ever since. Don't know how I did it without them. this is the kind of mom that I am. No time to pack lunch. I got myself a burrito bowl, basically, and then we have 14 hot dogs, 2 hot dogs for each kid with me, and then there is a dessert party here, so I'll show you that coming up. So there's my burrito bowl mama lunch, basically just a salad of so many good things in there, and jalapenos. Okay, this is the dessert party. So many good things. All the fun. Hot dogs and Oreos, nothing to see here. But look, here's what we focus on. Focus on the mandarin oranges, okay, and bonus Cheez-Its. Well, good morning, and look what we have here. You would not believe it. We are finally, of course I have to pull those platters down, but the contractors came yesterday while the kids and I were out, and they are working on getting the crown molding that's going to reach the ceiling up here on top of these cabinets. Also for dinner last night, not Domino's, what was it? We went to the gym and then we got Little Caesars on the way home. That was my mama meal plan for yesterday. Hot dogs from the gas station, Little Caesars on the way home. Forgot to show you the Little Caesars, but by the end of the day, we're supposed to have our crown molding up there. And so here's my next meal plan of the day. I have set out 2-gallon bags of spaghetti sauce. I also set out a cabbage lasagna. We brought up a big box of Eggo waffles. And then I've really been enjoying these power bowls. Of course, yes, cabbage lasagna. We made it in June. It is so good. But thinking of my lunch right now, I like these power bowls, which is basically just a protein and vegetables, but I don't have to think. Has a little rice cauliflower in it, and then I do another bag of rice cauliflower too. I don't always eat the whole thing, but I might eat half or so and save the rest for another meal later. And sometimes I do eat the whole thing, and that's just fine, but that's just a quick mama microwave lunch. And I'm going to get the spaghetti sauce, defrosting with the cold water defrost method, and just put the cabbage lasagna in the refrigerator for the following day. And then the Eggos, I have kids that wanted those for lunch on this day. They played hard outside, so that's what we had. They had some waffles and some fruit, and they had some maple syrup on those and the cute little scoop fork. Oh, also, my 2-year-old was pretending to eat with an ice cream scoop. You can't go wrong there. And so here I am defrosting the spaghetti sauce in the bowl again, and yeah, just as frozen as can be. And then we are gonna let the water fill up, and I'll change it out here and there, but I'll just continue. I just need it to be loose enough to get it out of the bags. And so this is all I have to do. And now, if my camera will come back into focus, haha, I am working on getting my lunch straightened out. So I just microwave the rice cauliflower, put the contents of the power bowl on top, a little bit of butter, salt, pepper. There you go. Mama lunch on my little THM plan. Not a lot of brain power required. Okay, so we got our baskets, and I'm going to do a big, I feel like it's going to be big, tomato harvest. We got lots of red tomatoes in here. What's that? Got to set all my loot down though. But even when we walk in here, we've got some different red tomatoes looking at us. These were my Amish paste, so that's exciting. This is just, hey, let me do a garden tour. You see my whole middle where it's grown up, but there's potatoes under all of that. Lots of pepper situations happening. And there's potatoes here. I did all of the we did 400 pounds of potatoes that are planted. Most of them with the Ruth Stout method. So there's hope. My joke is there's no hope here in this weedy and, I was going to say barren land. That's just me quoting and being silly. There's obviously things growing, just not the things that we work so hard to plant. Although, yes, again, potatoes are under there. Lots of tomatoes going down that way. Lots of red. Lots of plants dying off. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, I don't know next year, just with things I got going on in my life, I don't know that I'm going to do my big garden next year. I may have to wait for another year after that. But when I'm in a season when I can really garden again, because I mean, it almost honestly makes me just want to cry looking at it. Anyway, some things that bring me a lot of joy is how beautiful. I've never grown these African marigolds, and they are so huge, and I would have never known. So it's African marigolds. We have them here. We have them here. I mean, these, I love marigolds, and I didn't know that African marigolds were giant marigolds. So here's our traditional marigolds that we grew all over. But these, I'm pretty sure I got these from M.I. Gardener, and they are just amazing. And I just feel like, I love you, African marigolds. So we also have these here are more African marigolds growing. They're just gorgeous, aren't they? And I know, perfect world, I should save seeds from them. I can't. I just can't right now. But I am enjoying them, and they're telling me they love me, so I appreciate that. Look how tall this is. I mean, I'll set up my tripod so you can see in a minute when I stand by these. And I think these are just our traditional marigolds, standard, whatever. There's probably marigold breeders out there who know. A lot of this is overgrown. Oh, these are African marigolds that we need to tell Becky from Acre Homestead. Becky, next year when I will not be gardening, can you please grow a bunch of African marigolds for us? Because I mean, these are just, they are everything. Yeah, dripping over the beds. So again, Jamerrill will probably not be gardening next year, but I'll be gardening in my heart. And I think that's why doing these last couple harvests and kind of putting this garden to bed is real emotional for me. But that's just what I'm dealing with. And wow, I haven't gotten to these tomatoes at all, but look at this. It's like we grew some big tomatoes. I mean, I know Jess from Roots and Refuge could tell us what's happening. But and that one, yeah, they are enjoying that. So I appreciate how one viewer said to me, you know, what I can't get to, the earth will take back. But I am trying to just honor all the work. You know that March, April, May, June, and into July, until I got sick with probably a COVID flavor, I was out here working for hours every day. And I have always enjoyed my gardens, and I have always enjoyed working in them, although I've never had one this big. And so this was really, I mean, look, you know, we built that trellis, and there it is. Tomatoes at the top. And that's over 7 foot tall right there. And then I got beans hanging from that one. It's just, it's a dream that I'll have again. And then in here, you know, I've been picking my tomatoes green, and so now I had one little guinea, got a guinea hen. This is funny, our little trio, you might see them. We've got one hen, one meat bird, and one guinea hen that are all this like little posse together. Anyway, and they like to live in this garden, and I just let them. But anyway, lots of red tomatoes through here, and we've outgrown our one big freezer basket, and we're gonna start filling up another one. Really, my kids didn't know where to set them anymore, so they're setting them on the shelf now. So I'm gonna help we got a bunch inside that are red. But yeah, I just want to take some time this afternoon in the garden. Hey, this is meals of the week. These will be future meals, right? When we can all of these tomatoes. I hope I feel like it at some point this winter. Anyway, we're gonna go through here, and lots of tomatoes on there still, and I'll probably pick all those green. So it'll probably take me, oh, and then look at all those nasturtiums down there, dripping over the beds. Becky would be proud, wouldn't she? Let's go down there and look. I did harvest the carrots, and that was another bittersweet thing. There are still some more carrots in here, so let's just work in the garden here. But I harvested the carrots. They were actual carrot size my first year, and they were all the colors. So that was great. But yeah, there's more carrots still going in here, so maybe we can get some more carrots. Here's our nasturtiums doing their thing. So much of my lettuce went to seed, so these beds will have lettuce in them. If you remember, this was my beautiful attempt at corn, but at least we got a lot of sunflowers out of the deal. So I don't know, I've never had marigolds up past my waist before, but these are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Again, I'm telling Becky, you all tell Becky, Jamerrill said, grow these African marigolds because they will look beautiful in her beds. And yeah, they're just amazing. And we planted these from seed. We did so many things. And here's our next one. And then look at this. So, happy thought. And you may have noticed in the background that the house is a different color and there's a lot of trucks here. And you're getting ready to see in this video all kinds of things, all kinds of projects that are happening. But I have been working on a huge, mega massive home exterior renovation video production for you guys for over the past month, and I am finally almost coming to the end of that. So that will be a huge movie that you all will get here hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and it's going to show you where we had the whole house painted and the trim painted, and we did lots of fantastic things. But coming up in this video, so well, you're getting a little peek of it, but coming up in this video, you're going to see a big storm that sent a tree through the roof and actually into the baby kitchen. And you're going to see the almost complete removal of the baby kitchen. And you're going to also see, coincidentally, yes, we had that tree that came through the house, and it was a big limb. It wasn't a full tree. The trees around our house were several hundred years old. They were massive. And they were trees that whenever we bought the house, we had a company that had offered us a lot of money to come, and they were going to remove our trees and pay us, I don't remember now if it was $10,000 or $20,000, but it was a decent amount, plus we wouldn't have to pay to have them removed. And I think they were doing furniture or something with them, something that, really held the value of the wood. And then when COVID happened, that whole deal just fell apart. And I don't have the time or the energy to negotiate other tree deals. But YouTube is so interesting. I'm sure there's people out there who know a lot about that. But I did make some phone calls and looked into it the best I can, and I just couldn't work that out. And so probably about 2 years ago, we had to start paying to have dead trees removed. We did work out a deal with a local tree guy because he sold firewood. So he would come and he would cut all the trees he could in one day for $1,500, but he would get like 6 or 7 trees. And if you've ever had a tree removed, it's usually $1,500, $2,000 or more per tree. Easy. So that daily deal was great, and he did that for 2 years for us. I think last year we had 19 trees removed, but we still have never gotten to the trees directly around the house like that are up on it. And the reason is that gentleman said he would need to get a crane in here and do that. We just could never make that happen. And last time we had checked in on it, that gentleman had had an accident. And so he was not going to be able to do any more trees for us. So my neighbor had some trees down and tree limbs. I connected with that company. And you'll see a bit of it in this video and in a few other videos coming, where they have been working through getting the trees that are right up on the house, trees that truly, if one of them fell, I mean, there could be loss of life. It could be a massive crushing incident. And the biggest, oldest one back by my bedroom window was totally dead. So timely, I had those guys scheduled to come, and 2 days before they came, another tree that was not dead, but still too close to the house, sent its limb through the baby kitchen ceiling. So there we go. We picked a little sunflower bouquet, and we're talking about the crashing waves of trees. Yes, so different interior renovations are coming about, such as the crown molding in the Mega Mama kitchen. Now, they didn't actually get it finished on that day. It just ended up not working out. But now, in the future, it is almost done, and it looks so good. It looks like it was just meant to be there. So I'm glad all of that has come together. And there's some different laundry room plans that are working out for a little upstairs laundry room space. So I know when we get to those videos, you'll enjoy that. Just doing some nice moving around. And here I am still going through and picking all the red tomatoes that I possibly can off of these plants. And the sunflowers, the birds have eaten those. And yeah, after this harvest, I don't know if I'll be doing any other harvesting this year. I don't know if I'm going to get to the 400 pounds of potatoes that are planted. If I'm not able to, I have local friends that I will offer those to. So they will not go to waste. And again, as I've also been told, I can just cover them and they should stay in the ground for me. So not sure how that'll go. And that is okay. As low bandwidth mama, I say it's okay. But it was a great experience getting it all planted and working through it here the best we can. And little tomato there that some other critter ate. Good news is from my tree people, they did leave me 2 big truckloads of wood chips so far. So at least I will have those there aging for future hopes and dreams. And this is how I've continued to pick my tomatoes. I do even pick them green. Some people don't care for that because they say it can affect the nutritional value. But if I don't pick whatever I can when I am out here, then it truly could go to waste. And even though it's been a nightmare, a blessed nightmare, I say, because the Lord is with me. But anyway, just a really, really insane season, insane hard season, and that's just life, right? And so I appreciate your support and still coming to watch my videos, even though I know they're super irregular. I keep trying and planning to get back to 3 videos a week, and I think we'll get there. We just have to keep trying and keep moving forward and hit it the best we can right now. But I'm still picking these tomatoes, and we will just put them on the table in front of my French doors there, and they will turn red and they will get in the freezer, and it will all work out great. And there they are. There's the happy carrots. There's our sage being lovely. And the sage will come back next year. And here's our beautiful basket with some more flowers for some kitchen vases and more tomatoes. And here we are, another day, another sourdough feeding. And so I'm pouring off this discard and I'm going to feed it because I do have hopes and dreams of actually being able to do some sourdough baking. Again, when is that? We don't know, but we're still going to feed the sourdough. When in doubt, feed your sourdough. And on this day, I'm actually having one of those power bowls for breakfast. So back to the crown molding. He didn't get too far the other day, but this is where it's located on the front porch. He'll be back tomorrow though, so you can see, well, you can see how big the pieces are. And so he's measuring it out. He's done a lot of prep boards around, but this will be going up. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And here, hey, what does organizing homeschool look like? Well, because it's a jam-packed year already, I've gone ahead and ordered Bob Jones again for my kiddos for their homeschool year. And Bob Jones is nice, especially when you have a low bandwidth mama season, because the lessons are on DVD. You can also do it online, but our internet is not that great, believe it or not. And so because of that, the DVD option works well. So you rent the DVDs, you keep the work text and the books that come with it. The DVDs you send back in 13 months, so it gives you time. And so I just have to go through though and organize all the different grades and books and materials that go with each class. This is actually a 2-day project for me to organize all of this. And yet I'm doing this so that I can have some homeschool help this year. We go through this deep organization though. And there also, the other little trick with Bob Jones you have to be aware of is there's boxes that they send and you have to keep the boxes and these return shipping labels, because at the end of your rental time, I mean, I can send it back in 9 months. It doesn't have to be 13, but because of that, I have to save the boxes in a special part in my basement. And that way, because come later next spring, I'm going to be looking for those boxes to send everything back in. And I'm also, remember those homeschool carts we did a few years ago? It was actually a few years ago when I was doing Bob Jones. We did it for 2 years. And it was really helpful to me in that season. Ideally, in a perfect world, I mean, again, Bob Jones is good and fine. My kids really enjoy it. I've had no issues with it. I love being the read aloud mom and the project mom and the hands-on mom and the doing all the things mom. But in seasons when I can't, this curriculum really helps me. So we will do the carts and yeah, use these for homeschooling this year. So if you are a mama who needs some extra help, do not feel bad about getting something simple such as Bob Jones. Here's all my binders that I had to get new binders to organize everything in. I had some moms say to me before, oh, I can't believe you're using a DVD curriculum or whatever. And I'm like, it's whatever a mama needs. If it's what you need to be able to accomplish your goals for your children, hello, here we are having spaghetti for the second night, then get yourself some easy peasy lemon squeezy haha curriculum that works well for you and helps you as a busy mama in your season too. And so here we are, another day, and they are chopping down. This is actually the very first tree that they got. They already got a lot of the limbs off, and you can see they have their equipment there where they're grinding up a lot of the brush and giving me those for wood chips. You also see my windows there that really need some Windex, but that's okay. We will get to that. You'll see here in a minute why my windows do get so grubby. It's pretty cute. But there's the man going in his little bucket there. And this is what our last gentleman said he was going to need to rent. So this company uses this equipment all the time. And here we are another day on organizing the Bob Jones. And here we also are, baby kitchen, and there you go. The hole in the ceiling. When the tree came through the roof, it knocked out the drywall perfectly. You can look over on, I think in my IG stories I have pictures there. Or I'll try to put some pictures up here for you. You can see the drywall and all of that, but we did have to clear out the baby kitchen of a few things that have just been sitting around in here. Really, we've kind of been using it as like a makeshift laundry room area. It holds the laundry baskets and is a folding table and those kind of things. But the contractors are here and separate company. They're going to take out this wall here and yeah, take out that little bump out along the top. take out the sink. Yeah, I will be sharing with you the updated laundry room plan. But yes, that whole wall there is coming out, and there will be new flooring going down on those old linoleum floors. And we're gonna make something out of this room, even though the tree tried to come on over and have a good time too. And here's another look once that tree was down and they were chopping it up. And I'll show you some progress out here, baby kitchen. Look at this, some things started to come down. Got cabinets down. They're just, yeah, making things disappear, getting stuff off the walls, moving logs. It's like a doing all the things house, huh? And we will have to paint that green door at some point. And so another day, another little bit of Eggos for breakfast. He had already had one of those Sharp Shopper yogurts, as evidenced by his shirt. And so now we're going to have, I asked someone to bring him a spoon and a fork, and he got great big ones, but he can handle it. He's smart. Anyway, there's some tree branches, bucket truck, beautiful sky, messy window, lot happening, but what better entertainment? What better, like, come sit on your mama's lap and watch these guys pull these trees down. And there, now you see, did you see how my windows get dirty? Got little handprints. This was such good entertainment, and it went on for almost the whole week. Yes, look at that. Joy of all joys, smudges of all smudges, but happiness. Happiness with trees. And now I am doing some cleanup here, and I want to go through those tomatoes that we had harvested the other day. I wanted to wash them off. A lot of them had dirt on them from some of the bags I brought them in. And I wanted to get the red ones washed and in the freezer, and get the green ones washed and out on the table so they can do their job and work on turning red. And not all of these were from the harvest we did the day before. I had that black bag, and I had a 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes too that I had got the time before that harvest, and they'd been sitting and waiting for me to process them as well. And I'm just realizing at this point we've got too many little wormy things on those tomatoes. So a lot of those are going to go to animals, but that's okay. That's still, yep, bye-bye. But these are the ones we're going to wash. We also had one last zucchini that came in. I didn't realize how wild and windblown my hair was looking, but that's okay. And here we are another day looking at the baby kitchen. More is being ripped out, and they just got that huge tree down. And this is how the room is looking and how our tomatoes are looking. I definitely want to work on getting a bunch of those down to the freezer. And so now back down in the basement, you see that one is just jam-packed. Plus I have more of my little power bowls that again are helping me with life right now. So we have this freezer meal freezer where I've put some of those Costco lasagnas and Kevin's freezer meals in. And now we're going to start working on filling this bin of tomatoes to work on and can on another day. And here's continued updates on how the removal of the baby kitchen is going and growing. I want to talk about growing because we were in the garden for so long, but here's how the baby kitchen removal is going. And you will see that when they removed that like bump out piece, I don't even know why they would have that, but yeah, that drywall that would hang from the ceiling but had no purpose. They found the rest of the tree that was sticking through the ceiling. Yeah, lots of tree removal also continues, but that tree's from the storm. That was 2 days before the tree removal. We also continue to make some eggs for a breakfast. I also made the decision, because it's the start of another week, and I still had not gotten to my sourdough starter, and I'm like, you know what? Hopes and Dreams sourdough starter, I knew what my week held, and I just said, yeah, I don't even know if I can feed this thing every day. So the Hopes and Dreams sourdough starter went back in the refrigerator, but it did have a good week out to air out and be fed. Thank you so much for watching all of my carrying on with this super mega massive large family meals of the week video, plus a bunch of gardening and home renovations, right? I'm proud of us. We're doing things. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you real soon with another brand new video. Thank you. Thanks again to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring today's video. Go to skylightcal.com/Jamerrill and use my code Jamerrill or scan the QR code for 10% off.